Recently, we heard the reports of an Oakland County Sheriff's deputy who was killed in the line of duty while conducting surveillance on a stolen vehicle in the city of Detroit. Deputy Brad Reckling losing his life recently on duty, protecting our community, doing his job, and now Oakland County and the Sheriff's Office is doing its part to support his family in the wake of this tragedy. Joining us on the Splash Live now is the Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard. Sheriff, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
I would say happy to have you on, but unfortunately that is not the case at this time. We never like to talk about a fallen officer in the line of duty or outside of the line of duty, but in times like this, we want to remember not only the service of our fallen deputy, but who he was as a person. So starting off, tell us about Deputy Brad Reckling as a person, as a man.
Well, everything that all of his really close friends have said is that his family was his life. They've got 3 small kids and a 4th on the way. His loving wife, they had just worked together to rehab their house to get ready for the next baby to arrive. He loved his family immensely and loved his job, and he was great at it. He was one of our rising stars. He'd been decorated numerous times. He had moved through different postings. I was honored and proud to promote him to different things. He was a detective in our Rochester Hill substation for a period of time, a patrol deputy there, and had recently this year been assigned to our highly sought after specialty auto theft team.
And it was the work that he was putting in that was so impressive and helped lead him through his career. And that speaks to something that, we don't commonly see in any profession. And when you see that from someone, it tells you a lot about their character, both on and off of the job. And in times like this, our community here in the greater West Bloomfield area, not unfamiliar to these sorts of tragedies. And in our time of need, there was great support from outside of the greater West Bloomfield area, including from the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. At this time, how has the law enforcement community and the first responder community responded in helping those on your team work through a tragic time like this?
Yeah, that's the one thing about public safety is we are a family, and when we have one fall, people rally, and our community has rallied as well. First I'd like to say thank you to DPD, Detroit Police, Chief White. He actually called me within minutes of this happening on Saturday night in Detroit. And MSP, both DPD and MSP quickly went to the scene where our detectives were, where Detective Reckling had fallen, and set up a very fast perimeter, caught 3 people within that perimeter, and recovered weapons in there. And so obviously one of the most important keys to this is justice, that people are held accountable, but then obviously pivoting immediately, how do we support the family? How do we take off some of the edges that we can? Because we know we can't take the edge off of the loss. That's too huge, too dramatic of a void for us to fill. But we can maybe take some of the financial concerns and some of those bumps out of their way and do whatever we can to support them.
And that's already underway, Sheriff. I'm glad you brought that up because this is a way that the community can provide support to someone that had worked so diligently and been working so hard to protect them and to do justice upon our community. So at this time, how can people support the Reckling family in their time of need?
Yeah, so we have a charity called Mission Oakland. It's a licensed 501c3. You can go to our website at oaklandsheriff.com. There's a link right on the front page there that goes to a donation capability for his family. 100% of the money that comes in will go directly to his family. So, that's the key, is that not only do we want to get them 100% of it, but we want to get it to them as quickly as possible. So it's one thing that they don't have to worry about. And, I've been super appreciative of the response the community has given. And I've had friends from across the country calling and offering support. I had a phone call yesterday from Jay Leno, and he's already got a check in my hand. He FedExed it overnight. So there's a lot of love for this fallen deputy and for his family. And hopefully, we'll help them through the very difficult days ahead.
And we have a link to that already available for you watching or listening to this. If you're watching on civiccentertv.com or on our cable television stations, any of our social media, there's a QR code on your screen as we speak. If you scan that, it will take you directly to the donation page through Mission Oakland to support Deputy Brad Reckling's family going forward. Sheriff Bouchard is with us from the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff, before we let you go, I want to step back to again how the community can continue to help. This is an ongoing investigation, and if people have any information on what happened over the weekend on that tragic day, how can they provide that information best to your department and Detroit?
Yeah, I mean, certainly if they have any knowledge or information, please give us a call. Or Detroit Police Department, they're taking the lead on the homicide of our deputy. But I would also say, reach out to your representatives at all level. We need more support for mental health programs for the community at large, but also specifically for public safety. I've got one full-time peer-to-peer person. We have almost 1,500 people, and I created that position by eliminating another necessary position, but felt it was that big of a priority. So we're asking for one more immediate full-time position from the county, and we're asking our state and federal legislators to do more on mental health for the community, but also put some resources for peer-to-peer into public safety because they're hurting. If you look at what's happened across the country for the last few years, line of duty deaths in law enforcement are up, and ambushes like this are up dramatically. And what people don't realize is even given those high numbers of line of duty deaths, the one number that outstrips that is officer suicides. So the pressure, the incredible challenge that they face every day. And for our agency, it has been a line of duty death with deputy overall, and then COVID, and then the terrible tragedy of Oxford. And then we also responded to MSU. And then we had the active shooter at the splash pad in Rochester Hills, and now this. And that's on top of what they see every day and can never unsee. So we have to support them better and help them process those terrible things better. Because, as I said, officer suicides have spiked, and they deserve our support. They're protecting us. We need to help them as well.
Very well said. Sheriff Michael Bouchard from the Oakland County Sheriff's Department with us on the Splash Live as we remember Deputy Brad Reckling from the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. Again, you can provide your support to their family by visiting oakgov.com/sheriff and clicking on their donation page. It's also available through their Facebook page at OCSO Michigan, and we'll put that back up on your screen in just a moment so you can see and scan that QR code for even more information and to go directly to that donation page where you can make a donation one time, weekly, monthly through PayPal or with a debit or credit card. Before we let you go, Sheriff, anything else that you would like to say at this time?
I'd just like to say thank you to the community, Oakland County specific, but at large. We feel the love and support, and that's really important. You've seen places around the country where police have been demonized, and when someone does something wrong, obviously they need to be held accountable, but the vast majority are doing the right thing every day. And so they have to be uplifted and supported. Our community does that, but other communities around the country have not. And in many ways, they become the Vietnam vets, where they're asked to do a tough job and then they're demonized for just being in that profession. So let's not repeat that from the past that we did to our Vietnam vets. Let's make sure that the men and women that are in public safety get the support that they deserve, quite frankly.
Well, Sheriff, our thoughts from our team at Civic Center TV are with you. Our community in Greater West Bloomfield, we will continue to keep you and the Reckling family in our thoughts at this time. Thank you for taking time to be with us today.
Thanks so much for having me.